I got a comment on a video yesterday that stopped me cold. A woman told me that she did everything right. She married well, she raised the kids, she stayed small so everybody was comfortable. And yet, at 60 years old, she's alone, she's broke, and she's lost. She gave up everything for her husband. She gave up a career. She was a stay-at-home mom, thinking she was doing life right. And yet now at 60, she is trying to enter the workforce. She doesn't have a degree. She doesn't have a career, and she has no money. And she was talking about this trad wife trend and how it terrifies her. And honestly, it kind of terrifies me too. Why? Because the trad wife trend isn't actually about tradition. It's about exhaustion. Women are so burned out these days from everything. They're doing the career, the kids, the home life, holding it all together, that disappearing into a role can sound like relief. Like, wouldn't it be nice if I could just stay home and bake bread and take care of the kids, and my husband would do all of the hard stuff like working and making money and paying the bills, and I could just, skip around in a pretty dress and make meals, and wouldn't that be amazing? It does. It feels like a relief coming from women who are exhausted by life. And I understand, I get the appeal, but here's what they're not saying in those aesthetic videos that you're seeing. What happens when he leaves? What happens when the money runs out? What happens when you've spent decades with no income, no outside source of support, and no identity outside of your role as a wife and mother? And this isn't about hating men or hating on women who choose that life. This is about making sure you have you, no matter what happens. You own your money. You own your identity. You have your own sense of who you are outside of any role. Because the women who survive, and I mean survive and thrive, are the ones who never outsource their identity to anyone else. Don't choose a role because you're exhausted. Don't give away your financial power because you're tired of trying to make it all work. Get the support you need to build an identity that's yours. Because once you give your financial power away, you will compromise and you will do things that you never thought you would do because you need that person for your survival. And once you're there, you're trapped. And just like this woman who commented on my video, she's 60 years old and she's terrified watching younger women fall into this trad wife trend, because outside of just having the power to choose whatever life you want, which of course you do, it is scary to see women giving up their financial power and their identity so that they can just be taken care of. So make sure that you are building an identity that doesn't depend on anyone else in order to survive. That's the work, and it starts with you.